So 2022 has been an absolutely fantastic year for toy photography. It was something that I really wanted to kind of pursue this year. I mean, I'd always kind of done some kind of like anime figure photography and stuff like that, but I'd kind of go through periods where I was doing it for a good like 3 to 4 weeks, and then I'd go another like 8 to 16 weeks without doing it at all and whatnot. And it was just kind of anime and stuff I was doing at the time, and I wanted to kind of branch out a little bit. So at the start of 2022, well, I think it was around about October last year actually that I started thinking about toy photography. I started seeing like others posting like Star Wars and, you know, Pokemon shots and just stuff like that, and I was like, yeah man, I've got different interests, bro. I want to like branch out a little bit, you know. So I thought, you know, I'd go for that. And yeah, here we are, a whole year later and still doing it, which is fantastic. So I think it was like end of last year as well, I was setting goals for what I wanted to do for the rest of the year. And one of my goals was, all right, to stay consistent with this toy photography thing, this beautiful art form that I've picked up. I want to set a goal that will, you know, keep me consistent. So my goal was to actually take 100 toy photos this year, and I absolutely smashed that, by the way. Absolutely smashed that with 162. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Your boy did good. It's been fantastic. Absolutely loved it. Like, I've just met so many awesome other toy photographers on like Instagram and YouTube and whatnot like that, and it's been really, really great. I've just been like getting better and better and better as I've like practiced the craft, and I thought this video would be a cool like kind of look back on the top 9, so to speak. At the end of the year, we usually find that all these toy photographers do top 9 photos of 2022, and I was like, hey, I'm setting mine out. I was just choosing what I was gonna do. I thought, cool video, we could just hang out and I'll talk through my top 9 and what I liked about them, why I chose them, and just some fond memories. I thought it'd be a cool video to end out the end out the year, so to speak, before we move on and crush 2023. Now, I was incredibly lucky, so I was pursuing toy photography this year. I actually got featured on a few pages as well, which was extremely rad. Like Star Wars Time Show picked up one of my Star Wars shots, which was so cool. Loved that. Another Star Wars page, Star Wars The Black Series, they picked up a couple of my shots and featured them as well. Tokyo Otaku Mode actually got one of mine, and who else? Yeah, the big one, how could I forget? Good Smile Company themselves shared my Urza shot on their page. So they ain't watching, but thank you so much for featuring me this year. They were like definite highlights and kind of thoughts to me where I was like, yes, your kid's getting better. Your kid's getting there. Like, it's not about recognition and stuff like that, but like to get those little nods here and there is just like, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate that. So without further ado, I went off tangent there. Great year, loved the features, met so many awesome people, got better myself, love this craft. So let's go through my top 9 photos of 2022. So I obviously have split up into categories, so to speak. I was originally doing like anime only, but now I've branched out and doing Star Wars and doing Pokemon as well. Absolutely love that. It's a bit more variety, and it pleases me, man. It pleases me. So what I've done is I've actually broke down my top 9 into like 3 Pokemon shots, 3 Star Wars shots, and 3 anime shots. This was actually incredibly hard, kind of critiquing your own work and picking out your favorites, but at the same time, a lot of fun. So let's start with the first shot, which was none other than Magikarp. Yes, then. Absolutely love Magikarp, and like this shot was just so much fun, man. Like I had like the air drain blaster gun, so like getting those practicals, just blowing up dirt and whatnot, and I had this Magikarp like figure, and I was like, you know what, let's blast some water up in it. And like this one just turned out so well. Like this photo is actually 3 different photos merged into one. I did the old Sir Dork trick, if you're familiar with him, where you just take your favorite parts of like your effects from separate photos and just blend them together in Photoshop. So that's what I did there. So I got this like really mad splashing effect. I thought the lighting on this was brilliant, so I was doing it outside during, I think it was about April at the time, and it's just a very pleasing shot, and I'm very proud of it. Like it just, you know, you ever look at something like you've done or just an image and you're just like, yeah boy, that makes me smile. So yeah, there is Magikarp, and yeah, great picture on that one. Thoroughly proud of myself for that. Next up is an anime shot of the Megumi Nendoroid from the series Food Wars. This was actually one of my very first photos of 2022, and like it's just one of those shots that's just really awesome. I was playing around with like practical effects and whatnot, and I had this idea of like, you know, let's drop some popcorn into a bowl and, you know, just capture that motion. We'll have Megumi with this perfectly like expressive, like, I don't, what is the expression on that? Is it scared? Is it panic? I don't know, but it works so well. Again, it was the same kind of trick that I did with the Magikarp shot. I think this was about 3 or 4 photos where I was just kind of placing different bits of popcorn into like the shot from various ones I've taken, just to kind of make it look a little bit more full, so to speak. And I think that turned out all right. I love the grade that I did this on this as well. You can see that heavy vignette that I always put on there, but it just like really accents and highlights Megumi in there. I think if I'm going to pat myself on the back a little bit there, focus. Nailed focus on that one. But yeah, it's just another charming shot that I'm extremely proud of, and even better that it was one of the first shots of the year. Kind of means that I'd set myself up on the right path, so to speak. Do you ever, I don't know, have you ever taken a photo, like made a video or whatever it is that you're pursuing? You've done that and you're like, mate, this is the level up. This is the level up shot. This next shot was that for me, and it was actually the one that was picked up by Star Wars Time Show. So this was Darth Vader versus Obi-Wan Kenobi. Man, this shot I'm just so ultimately proud of. Even now I look back at it, I'm just like, yes, 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 well done, boy. Proud of that. This one I was taken inside against a black backdrop, lit the figures up with some loom cubes, and then I just added some effects in there. Tastefully, I think. Like there is a lot going on there. Obviously you've got the sabers, you've got the clash in the center of those sabers, and then you've got the embers as well, but it's not overdone as well. I just love like the perspective on this, because originally I was going to shoot this from the side, because this was obviously when Kenobi came out, the show. What a freaking fantastic show that was, by the way. And there was a scene, I think, in his first clash with Vader, and there was like a still shot of it online I saw, and I was like, oh, that's perfect. And like I just couldn't get it right, and it just didn't look awesome. So I was like, you know what, just spin the camera around and like we'll do it from Kenobi's perspective, so to speak. And absolute game changer that was. It was just so intense. You can see the ferocity in Vader there, and like Obi-Wan's struggle. And again, I'm just really like happy and proud with like the overall focus on this. Obviously the focus is on Vader. We've got Kenobi there, and you can tell it's Kenobi, but he's obviously blurred out there because of me centering it on Vader. But like I took this, added those effects in there, put the color grade on. I was just like, oh my god, yes, this is sick. This is why I wanted to start taking photos of like Star Wars and stuff, because man, I'm a massive Vader fanboy. Like he's like probably favorite character of all time. So this was just my like, yes. Yeah, I remember I was just sending this to like friends and family, like, oh my god, look at this, how good is this? Like trying to find an excuse to talk to someone. So it's like, oh yeah, look what I've done, by the way. But no, it's so cool, man. I absolutely love this shot. It's just so sick, and like it was definitely a progression shot. You can tell that I'd gotten better, and oh, it just looks so good. So good. Super proud of that. Right, next shot is, mate, really happy with this one, and as is my fiance. She would have slapped me on the wrist if I'd left this one out. So this one, another Pokemon shot here. We've got like Ash, Pikachu, and Snorlax, this sleeping kind of pose, so to speak. It's actually a figure I got her for her birthday or Christmas. One of the two, I can't remember. This one, just such a simple shot, and it's like sometimes like the most simple shots can be the best shots, as it is here in my top 9. This, I simply adored the figure, took it outside, took like a couple of pictures just from different angles, and then I was like, hey, let's do a top-down shot of this. This was handheld as well, by the way. I'm really happy with how sharp this came out for a handheld shot, because I'm quite the shaky hand guy, because I drink a lot of freaking coffee. But this came out perfect. The grade on it as well gave it that added kiss there, and I just love how this turned out. Like the shadows from like where the sun was at that time of day, I think it was actually around like early afternoon, but it looks like it's kind of like around golden hour, if that makes sense. I mean, that's probably down to the grade that I chose and whatnot on that, but this is perfect. I think she always like likens it to like, you could see that on like a calendar or something. So that was cool. But man, what a cool shot that was. One absolutely cool shot. It's just got like such a feel to it, hasn't it? It's like Yeah, I feel that. End of day, busy, let's just kick back, relax, and have a nap on our boy Snorlax. So I bet that's comfy, man. I bet that's so comfy. Is a Snorlax like furry, or I imagine they'd be like short furred, right? But hey, let's go for it. That was an awesome shot. All right, next shot, we're going for an anime shot, and I think this is the only Kurumi shot on my my top 9. For those of you that know me, you'll be surprised by this. This shot was a complete accident as well, but this is just a simple portrait of the Kurumi Oiran figure, which is definitely probably my favorite figure of 2022. It is. Yes, it is. I was just looking around to see if it was. Most definitely was. So this portrait actually came about by accident. I was taking some photos for the thumbnail of that video, and the backdrop just looked really nice. And I was like, mate, this figure's just so gorgeous. Like the details on it they're incredibly pretty, incredibly well done. So I was like, let's just get in there and take a quick portrait for the IG. And man, it just looks so good. I've got like a preset I use, which is kind of like a teal and orange vibe to it, and it was really oofed all everything in that. Like the blues kind of like in the hair, if that makes sense, is a nice touch. The eyes are vibrant on there, but the skin tones, man, the skin tones are just absolutely on point, and just everything there. This photo did incredibly well on Instagram as well. Like a lot of people liked it. I should probably do a lot more portraits. That's what I used to do, like majority of the time was portraits. So it was nice to kind of go back and just do a nice simple one. But yeah, I'm incredibly proud of this one, man. This one just looks so good. It's one of those that I look at and I'm just like, yeah, man, you nailed that. You nailed that, bro. Pat yourself on the back for that one. But what an incredibly beautiful figure. So that's why I chose it. 1, it was my favorite figure. 2, it was old school portrait. And 3, it's just a tasty little photo. All right, then, another Star Wars shot, and I told you I was a Vader fanboy, man, but it's another Vader shot. Hell yeah. So I think this was around, May, so it was around Star Wars Day. There was this one particular, there was like this artwork that I posted years ago, and it keeps coming back up on my like Facebook memories every time, and I was just like, man, I want to recreate that image so bad. I'd recently been to like a garden center and bought all these rocks and stuff like that as well, so I could take some really cool toy photography outside with some sick backgrounds, and I just set him up on this, and I just love the way it came out. The pose is like pretty close to like what the shot was like, but it's, you know, sometimes it's just like the little things. I'm just very pleased by the bend in his leg. I don't know why, and the way the foot just plants perfectly on that rock there, I'm just like, yes, please. But I think this was probably one of the first Vader shots I'd taken that I was just like, yes, this is the one. But it just looks really cool. I love like the side-on kind of like vibe of that. The lightsaber's cool, which kind of adds that bit of pop to it. I had the atmosphere aerosol on this one. As you can see, there's that mist going on, and I was actually like his cape, I was actually kind of just holding that off frame while I was taking the photo. Incredibly hard, because as soon as you touch these toys, when they're in these poses, any touch they can tumble, which he did a few times, but I got it on that one, and I think it just looks really cool. This is actually still my Instagram profile picture. I was going to change it to my logo, but I'm just like, oh, it just looks so good, and just I love seeing it. But yeah, this was instantly one of my favorites of the year when I'd taken it and when I'd edited it and stuff. I was just like, yeah, this looks so good. But yeah, killer photo, man. I love this, absolutely love it. Right, final Pokemon shot. I gotta say, like, I think in terms of like the photos I've done this year, I think the categories that I've split them into, Pokemon was probably the hardest one to nail down, because I think I did a lot of really cool Pokemon shots this year. But like, final spot for Pokemon goes to this Moltres here, man. Just, oh, like, it just came out so well. It was in this rockery that I'd built, and I was definitely starting to like tinker with effects a lot more. Some of them I definitely overdid it, but hey, it's practice, mate. The more you do it, better you get. You look back on it, it's one of those things. But I feel with this one, it just looks really cool, man. Like, absolutely love the fire on this, and I got some little embers in there as well that are coming off it. But it's just one of those really cool kind of like capture the moment kind of shots. I was happy with the pose on it, and to be fair, I was happy to have this. I was psyched when I found this anyway. Like, I found this Moltres in a store, and I didn't know it even existed. I knew that like Zapdos was out in Articuno, but Moltres had no idea, and I just stumbled across it. So I was like, I need to take a photo of this figure, and what I came out with was just one that was just like, ooh, it was an absolute treat to edit. Like, there's hardly any grade on this. It's literally the effect that makes this photo work, and the lighting. I think I had about 3-4 lights kind of trying to make that like warm, fiery feel pointing at the Moltres. This was definitely one where it was a lot of trial and error. Had to keep moving bits until I found eventually what I liked. And yeah, manipulating the fire using like the warping and things in Photoshop, that was another kind of like, well, this is a bit of a task, but like I was really happy with the way it turned out, and it's just such a vibrant in-your-face shot, which is fitting of the legendary Pokemon that is Moltres. So, yeah, proud of that one. Final anime shot is of our boy Goku from Dragon Ball in the Spirit Bomb pose. This one, I was just like, yeah, this looks so sick. I used the Dirt Blaster to like blow up loads of dirt in there, and obviously I added in the Spirit Bomb. But what really made the shot for me was a couple of things, really. The first is the addition of the embers. However, I changed them to the Spirit Bomb color, so it looks like the energy that's going towards it, and I think that just really turned the photo from like, this is a cool photo to, mate, this is sick. The second was just the really sharp crispiness of this. I took a brush, just bumped up my texture, bumped up my clarity, and just brushed over Goku, and it really brought out all those details in him. And like when it was done, it was just like, yeah, boy, that is so cool. Absolutely love that. Like, it's one of the things I found that I struggled with last year, and kind of still struggle with a bit, is proportions, like how big the figure is in the overall photo. Like, I think I even posted some recently where it's like, okay, yeah, they're a little bit too big, like they're a little bit too in your face, so to speak. But this one, I was really happy with the proportioning compared to everything that was going on around it, and it's just such a cool photo, man. I really love that, and it's just, yeah, boy, it's a boy Goku. He's a beast. I think I did him proud of him anyway. Right, final Star Wars shot is an action shot of our boy Obi-Wan Kenobi. I absolutely love this photo, and it's just one of those where it's like his face isn't even on this, but it's just an action shot taking down those 2 stormtroopers, and the grade on this, loved that. Obviously, I've got that heavy vignette that I always tend to put on my photos, but it was sick to set up like multiple figures here and have them all in these kind of like different poses. But I think I nailed the Obi-Wan pose there with the hood up, and it just looks really cool. Like the spot where this is shot is one where I took a lot of photos. There's this little certain patch in our back garden where I was just like, right, this is where I'm taking photos. It just, everything looks cool here. So I guess this photo is also a homage to that spot, and can't wait to get back out there. I've missed that, man, but really cool. Love this. It's just like, again, like, I don't know what it is with me and legs, but the Kenobi's leg just there, just like, it just looks sick. And obviously the troop is getting slashed by like the Force and the lightsaber and the effects that are going off there. Absolutely awesome. And again, I used, I think, Lume Cube. Yeah, I used some Lume Cubes to like light the Stormtrooper like blue, and Kenobi's back as well, like that luminance of the lightsaber, and it's just like awesome. So I think this photo is definitely, proof that you don't need to take pictures of like, certain things face on, work with, poses and angles and whatnot, and you can still get these really epic shots out of it. And yeah, definitely happy with this one. And this one also did really well for me on Instagram. A lot of my Star Wars ones aren't as popular ones as Pokemon and anime, so this one doing, I was like, yeah, boy, that's a little win for me. I don't care about the likes. I'm gonna shoot what I want to shoot either way, but it's always nice to have like one do well every now and then. So there we go. That was our boy Ben slashing up some troopers. But there we go, that was my top 9 from 2022. I just want to say a massive thank you for any of you that have followed me on the Instagram or subscribed here, watching videos and whatnot. It's been a cool year. Obviously, I started doing this channel again properly this year, so I've got a lot of plans for next year. 2023 is going to be huge. There's definitely some changes coming, so yeah, stay tuned for that. But in terms of content, expect the same. We're gonna do some more unboxings, we're gonna do more tutorials, and hope to do some more shop walkthroughs of you know, what I'm doing with toy photography, and hopefully we can get out there as well and get some really cool shots. But yeah, let me know down in the comment section below what you thought of these photos. Yeah, I'm happy with them. Let me know what you thought, and yeah, feel free to tag me on Instagram in any of your favorite photos from this year. I'd love to see what you've done. But that's it from me, guys. Final video of the year. Hope you have a fantastic New Year's Eve, and I'll see you next year for some toy photography madness. Till then, peace.